Thank you for the question, Chris. Yeah, housing is a really tricky subject because although it is happening in the city, the majority of the regulations come from the provincial government, which means that at the city level, we are limited in what we're actually able to do. So one of the things that we can do, and one of the things that Transition Montreal has pledged itself to is working with our counterparts at the provincial and federal level to actually push for stricter enforcement of the rules and regulations and the bylaws that go around housing. But also, and this is very much a Transition Montreal thing, what we want to do is make Montreal an innovative hub, really already? An innovative hub for housing in general. What we want is to be the leader in North America by 2015 in how we do affordable and social housing. And that would include things like better inspections, that would include better buildings, that would include new regulations around rent control, taking some of those buildings off the public or the private market and bringing them back into the city's control so that we can do rent control, so that we can actually do the inspections. Chris, you want to say something about it?
Yeah, it has nothing to do. What I'm saying is they're not following the accounting practices.
Understood, but all of that, that's the TAL, right? You would go to the TAL for something like that, and the TAL is provincial. So in terms of what we can do, we can push, we can work with in order to help enforce the regulations that should be put in place. And we can also take some of those buildings off of the private market and bring them back into the city. Yes, ma'am. Bye.
So thank you for your question. I'm gonna speak a little bit to. It's similar to what Renate said. Of course, like the jurisdiction of the TAL is not under the city itself, so it's not us that controls the city. But we try to find ways as a party ourselves. We put in place different measures to ensure that we have more off-market housing within the city, meaning housing that is not following speculative market rules. So this is. For example, we bought out 31 buildings in the Darlington district. That's 717 units that are off the speculative market. That was $103 million of city money that bought those buildings off the market. That's going to keep those rents affordable over time. Of course, there's going to be rent increase, but they're not going to be equal to those of the for-profit sector, meaning that the goal of these kinds of buildings or these kinds of this kind of housing is not to make profit, but is to house people. That is the core goal. And the issue that we have right now within our laws and our legislations is that there's the right to property that is fighting versus the right of housing. Right now, that's how the laws are dealt with, and that's what the TAL is all about. What we've done, we've worked with community groups to ensure that we promote tenants' rights. We created a specific fund to support these groups. Like I said, we've acquired buildings. We have a mixed housing bylaw that pushes for mixed housing, specifically affordable and social housing within the new developments. We're going to see it in the Carey-Crawley. There's a whole piece of land that's going to be just social housing. So the idea is to kind of create a counterbalance to these kinds of practices on the market. That's what the city could do. That's what we're going to keep doing, and we're going to see the actual results of all these practices that were put in place by Projet Montreal starting 8 years ago in the coming years. And I guarantee you that if you have issues regarding I do encourage you also to speak obviously to the different groups in the community, but we're there for you, and I think all of us are here to make sure that you don't get in this.
You're not addressing the accounting problem.
The accounting question
you cannot have two different rules,
It is an issue. That's something that we did call out when they changed the rules in the TAL about that. But it's something that we don't have full control over. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Do you have a question?